Hi there, Stampers. It's Linda Schmidt with Stampin' with the Hounds. Thanks for joining me today. I know it's been a few weeks since I have done a tutorial, but after the holidays and coming back to work, and oh my gosh, it's just been kind of chaotic. But I have a fun fold in my fun fold series, which I've been working on cards that kind of move and pop and have a kind of a different shape. And so what's been really popular right now has been these hexagon themed cards that you can, if you've watched Iced Images or I think it's Susan Campfield, she did some modifications to the ones that Iced Images had done, which is a larger sized one. And then there's so many different sizes with this fold. But I was kind of practicing, learning as I go. This is the largest one. This is like a 5x7 one. And then there's also a 6x6, which I haven't created a card. I just kind of did a template just to see, what it was going to look like. So these are, they're fairly large. And again, I don't really have mini 6x6 envelopes, and that would definitely be cost more postage, but this would be kind of a cool thing to do like as a display. But this is the 5x7, which this is normal. You can just do your normal postage. You just have to be a little careful. Sometimes like this one, I've got sequins in there for that shaker, so I'll probably have to put extra postage on these, but they're really fun. So again, the 5x7, you got a little bit more real estate, for decorating. And like I said, I got to use the big butterfly that was from our new beautiful butterflies on that. And then I added a shaker on that inside panel to make it kind of fun. So that's the 5x7. I'm not going to make these larger sizes today, but I will make up a document and I'll put it in my Facebook, Stampin' with the VIP Hounds, that I will list all the different options, for measurements that you can do on these other sizes. And so then I found, because I wanted it to be A2. So I had found, I think these were Susan Campfield's dimensions. And from there, I decided I would tweak it a little bit more to make it my own. But these are A2, and there's a portrait size, which is, again, it's like 4 and this one is a little bit different, the measurements. This was, I think it was just shy of 5.5. No, I guess it is 4 1/4 by 5.5 as its finished size. This might have been the one that I tweaked on it, but this is using one of the new celebration that you can get for free during Stampin' Up's celebration sale. This is the Pick a Season stamp set, which is kind of a cute little set. And so I kind of made this as a little Valentine card. And then again, I added that shaker for the inside, and then I decorate, the back and stuff on it. So that's my first Valentine's Day card of the year. And then I also did the landscape one. And this one, I used that Marbled Elegance online exclusive, and then these Cake Celebrations, which is another online exclusive. And then I added my window strips to kind of give that floating look. And again, this one I don't have the back decorated yet, but you can then just put your greeting and stuff on that back side. So that's the landscape. And then here was another portrait one that I had done early on. And this one I don't have any shakers in there. But so this one has, so when you look at it from the top, it's like more of like a half hexagon, because it's got this larger panel. So I decided I was going to tweak it even more to make it my own. And so the ones that I'm going to be showing you today are my measurements for my design, or for my style of it. So this, especially on more of the landscape one, you can kind of see the difference here, where I have not as, let's see if I can show this. That back panel on mine is a lot smaller on it, because this is it's more equal. So when you look at it from the top, it kind of looks a little bit more like a hexagon on it. And so this one I used some of our new online, let's see here. This one is Everyday Skies, which is an online exclusive 6x6 paper pack. So it's got some really pretty kind of scenery skies with it. And this is the back side of that sheet that I used. And this one I was trying to do a little bit more masculine because I've got Jeff's birthday is this month. So I needed a birthday card for him on there. And then that's the back. So again, we're going to be doing a version of this style. Maybe not this paper exactly, but we'll do this one landscape. And then the other landscape, this is one we're going to be doing a variation of. So again, it's got a little bit more of that hexagon look. No shaker in this one, but I've got my little window strips in there. And then my arch, which is again another online exclusive die set that I just have dimensionaled, held on. And then I've got my little window strips kind of held in place by glue dots. And again, you can decorate all the panels as you like. But I just love this arch die. Oh, they're layering arch dies. They're just amazing. I love them. I was so happy that they finally came out with the dies like this. So that's the landscape. And then here is the portrait one that we're going to be doing today. So again, a little bit more like a hexagon look compared to the other one that has kind of that longer panel in the back. That's kind of the difference. So, and I'll put all these dimensions and stuff on there. So this one is using some of our new Timeless Plaid 6x6 Designer Series paper. And again, this one is in the new 25 mini catalog. And then I also grabbed from our online exclusive Twisted in Time. And I haven't really seen many people use this set yet, so I'm hoping that I can inspire you with these using this bundle. So again, you get that die set and the stamp set. So we'll be using that today. And again, so there's that one. No shaker in this one, but I did do my window strips and I just kind of used my birds. And then I had grabbed from the Frosted Forest, I grabbed that die. The birds are from there, and then the saying is from Frosted Forest, but then this is Twisted in Time. So super fun. All right, so like I said, we're going to be doing a landscape and a portrait one today. So let's get started. All right, Stampers, we are going to start off first. Like I said, I'm going to be showing you two different ways to do this card. The portrait way, which is this one, and then the second part of the video, we will do the landscape version of it. So for the portrait version, I'm featuring the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper that is in the 2025 Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog, and then the online exclusive bundle, Twisted in Time, which has the stamp set and then coordinating dies that go with it. So for our pieces to make this floating portrait hexagon card, you're going to need for the card, your cardstock. The base is going to be a quarter sheet of cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then we're going to score that. I'll show you how to do that in a bit. You're going to need 2 cardstock bands, which is the same color, and I'm using Misty Moonlight, which is a neutral color. Each one of these is 1 by 5 3/8, and then we'll go over the scoring in a minute. Your Designer Series paper for the center, which is for the base, needs to be 2 inches by 5 1/4. The same size for the back. I just use cardstock, and this is basic beige. That's 2 by 5 1/4. Then for the band, or not the panels, basically for the base of the card, you need 2 to 4, because I like to decorate the back of the card. Each one of those is going to be 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. And again, I'm just using the back side of the Timeless Plaid, so that way I'm showcasing both patterns of that paper. Then for your bands, you're going to need 4 for the corner. And each one of those, and these are little, is 3/4 of an inch by 7/8 of an inch. And I've got 4 of those there. So those are going to be what's going to go on those little, each of the 4 corners. And then your center ones, you just need 2 of those. And those will be 3/4 of an inch by 1 7/8 inch long. And then your window sheet, which makes for the floating part, if you want to make it a floating card, 1 to 3, depending on if you want to do stuff on the sides. Otherwise, if you just want the one, And these all kind of depend on the width based on whatever you're using as your floating image. So this is fairly narrow, so I did a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inch long, so that way it's tucked behind, or it's held basically in place by glue dots on the inside of the card. All right, so we're going to get with the scoring on our cardstock pieces first. So we'll do our base first, which you're going to score on the short side. So the 4 1/4 inch side, you're going to score at 1 inch. And again, you can just rotate it and score again at 1 inch because it, you know, it would be 3 1/4. Otherwise, you could do 1 inch, or you could do 3 1/4, or just do 1 inch, rotate it, and score again. And then each one of these becomes a valley fold. When I say valley fold, it means it's the valley. Looks V for valley. Those both come in. And now this is basically the base of your card. And this will be basically the front when it comes in. And then the back is when it bows, or is the opposite direction. All right, so now for our bands, on each of these, you're going to score the same. So on the longest side, the 5 3/8 side, you're going to score at a 1/2 inch, 1 5/8, 3 3/4, and 4 7/8. You can also flip that around and score again at a 1/2 inch if you wanted to. All right, same thing. So a 1/2 inch, 1 5/8, 3 3/4, 4 7/8, and that's it. And then now we just need to, on this one, you will do mountain folds, which means you're going to bend down so it looks like a mountain. We'll do that on each one of these score lines, just burnish them. So kind of like what I call like that bay window. That's your top or your front. And so again, just fold on the score lines as mountain folds. Oops. Okay. Then I like to add my Designer Series panel on my base, the front side first. So we're going to take that centerpiece, which was 2 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to, and on these, the DSP, you end up using about a 6 by 6 sheet of paper. You got like a little scrap left over. Okay, so that's the center. I'm going to wait and do my cardstock backing later. And then for the band, or for the panels, I'm going to do the first, my front two. I'm going to attach those, but I'm going to wait and do my back ones until I get the bands basically adhered onto the cardstock. Ugh, I can't pull these apart. There we go. All right, so that's going to go. And then, like I said, I like to kind of flip around the pattern. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to have the checkerboard showing on these side panels. And I'll apologize. I had to redo and cut and slice this video. I screwed up so bad. I had paused it. Well, I thought I had paused it, and really I hadn't, and it didn't save. And so this part that I'm re-videoing or re-recording is the first part that I had lost. So if it doesn't seem like the video flows as well, it's because I had to do a little editing and slicing. All right, so now this is the front. The bands, I want to go ahead and assemble these before I Actually, I'm going to put the DSP on these really quick. So let's do that. So these, again, we've got 2 of them that go right in the center. And these were that 3/4 of an inch by 1 7/8. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach these. I don't think there's really any rhyme or reason because these were cut going different ways. So, but I think I want, yeah, I'm going to do the checkered in the center this time. And you can do however you want the patterns. If you want them to all be the same, you can certainly do that. Or you can mix it up like what I'm doing. All right, and then the tiny little squares here, you need 4 of them. And these were 3/4 of an inch by 7/8 of an inch. I think I'm going, where am I going this way? Yeah, it's going this way. Okay. And if you wanted to make these pieces a little bit larger, you certainly can. That way you'd have less of a cardstock kind of border showing if you made them a little bit like 1/8 an inch larger than what I have in my directions. And I will be putting, I gotta work on it this week, but I will upload in my Facebook Stampin' with the VIP Hounds group page all the different measurements and stuff for the variations. And then I will link to the iced images for the larger, those 5x7 ones that I showed you, as well as the A2 versions that Susan Campfield had designed. So I'll link to her video tutorial for those, because mine are different from hers. So, okay, now what I like to do is, depending on which one you want on your top, so I'm going to flip this over. So I'm working for the back side. And this is where I want to make sure my cardstock is flush at the top. And then I am going to add glue. And you want to use a strong glue. So I'm just using some liquid glue. I can bend it. So make sure your tabs you're not too far over or whatever. And then glue on the other tab. And then we'll do the same thing. So just making sure this is how you want it. Flip it over, work from the back side. Make sure you are aligned at the bottom with both pieces. And you're kind of centered, in those score lines so that you can push these flaps over. And then that'll get glued down. And that comes down. Now we can go ahead and adhere our other 2 strips. I think it's going to go this way. I want to make sure, I think I did trim that a little wonky. I think I might have shifted a little bit on my paper trimmer when I was cutting this earlier, when I had to redo it. Yeah, I think I am. No, oops, I got off a little bit. Let's see here. There we go. A little bit straighter. Boy, I tell you, I can't cut today. Hold on. This is not my day to do a video, it seems. Okay, let's try Always something. Oh yeah, that's still really bad. Ay, ay, ay. Hold on. So sorry. I gotta fix this. It'll drive me nuts because it's a plaid, so you can definitely tell when it's crooked. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do the plaid. Really, I can stamp. I just today is just not my day. That is for sure. All right. And then how wide is it? I'm going to trim this too because it's definitely a lot wider than my other one now. So we'll do 5/8 of an inch. Just make it really narrow. Okay. All right, and then again, this is a basic beige. If you want to do your greeting, you'll attach that, but I kind of wait until I get my card all assembled, and then I'll go ahead and attach that after I stamp on it. All right, and then the next thing that you'll do then is adding your focal piece, which hopefully now I've caught up to where I was at in my other part of my video. And then I'll show you how to attach these window sheets to make your floating. So segue to the next part of this video. Okay, now I got that die cut. So I just took the main tree die and I die cut it from Old Olive in there. And then so in this die set, you're getting, again, this is going to cut out, you know, the whole tree with the trunk. And then the other pieces that where you don't really need to do any stamping is doing all of these kind of like, these are the leaves, and then this does the textured, the dark brown. And then this solid one is doing what the lighter brown, the pecan pie, cuts that out on it. So I've kind of got all of that already die cut. So I did Mossy Meadow for my leaves, pecan pie for the base, and then early espresso for the outline. And then again, this was Old Olive. And I am going to stamp, I don't know if you can see underneath here, but I did do the solid image from the tree, and then this little kind of outline image. So you're getting, this is the solid, and then this is the little outline kind of leaves and stuff. So I'm going to do Old Olive on Old Olive, just to give it a little bit of depth here. So this is kind of a, it may look like your stamp isn't really inked up, but it's kind of that textured look to it. So it is inked up. And then very carefully, just because I die cut this first, I'm just going to line this over. All right, so then that just gives us a little bit of texture there with that stamp. And then we're going to go a little bit darker and do Mossy Meadow for that outline. Again, just make sure you're all inked up. And then this just gets lined up on top. Okay. Put these away really quick while I clean them. Okay, close that. All right, so now we can go ahead. So there's just got a little bit of some texture in there. Then I'm going to adhere my base to my to the green, to the Old Olive tree. Yeah, I was so happy that we finally came out with what I call a good Halloween kind of scary tree. I was looking for something like this when I was doing my Halloween cards this past fall, but so hopefully this will stick around and I can use it still for next Halloween. But it's also good, again, for doing a spring tree. Like I said, I'm in Minnesota and it is like negative 17 degrees, super cold. We've got several inches of snow that came down last night. So yeah, winter is here finally to stay for quite a while. All right, and then this one I'm just going to do, this was that early espresso, and it's the detail part. So this will get layered on top. So I just do little dabs of the liquid glue on here. You can also take like a sponge and put your liquid glue on a sponge and then just dab onto the cardstock. That works just as well. And then this just gets lined up on top. Oops. All right. And then I just like to take some of these just to add a little bit of texture. So these were cut out in Mossy Meadow. And these you can just kind of put wherever. I don't think there's really any rhyme or reason to them. So I just used 5 of the 6 little leaves here on this tree this time around. I might just do the, let's see here, connect it. Yeah, we can put one more in here. All right, and then this, to attach it, we're going to use our window sheets, which are here. So I had done 3 of them. And again, I did like about a 1/2 inch width, and then they're about 5 1/4 inch long. And I did 3 of them, maybe. Well, I lost one of them. We may just do the one for now. I don't know where it went. Did it get caught in my... Oh, there's always something when I go to record these things. Well, I don't know where it went. It's probably attached on my sweatshirt somewhere. All right, so we're going to use some glue dots to attach these. So we'll just do the one. Oops, that's the larger ones. There we go. All right, so I just put a glue dot on either end, and then I attach the strip first to the card before I put my focal point on. So the glue dots are facing up, and I just do my best guess at, you know, getting centered, somewhat straight, and then I just press this down just to attach it. So now your window sheet is attached. You can see that on the inside there. All right, so I will grab, this is an extra one. These are a little bit wider, but, or narrower. Maybe I'll just use these two. Okay. So again, go ahead and attach your strips with the glue dots. And then again, I just kind of slide this up so the glue dots are facing up. And then I just make sure I'm somewhat centered, and then just press down to attach. So now that you got your second one, so you got 1, 2, and we'll do one more before I lose my window sheets again. So glue dots on either end. And then have it be face up. Slide it underneath. Make sure you're centered on that DSP on the base of the card. And then you're straight. And then bring these down just to pick it up. All right, so now we have a window strip on each one of those panels to create our floating card. All right, so now I'm going to do glue dots again, and these, well, actually I might just do tear and tape. You can do glue dots or tear and tape, either one, but I have some narrow, I thought I had some, oh yeah, here we go. I have some pretty narrow sticky tape here that I'm just going to run down the center of my tree. And then I just use my little pick tool, the part of it. And then just attach that onto the window strip. Just making sure, I'm just kind of looking underneath here just to make sure I'm getting the tape on my tree onto the window sheet. There we go. Yep, that looks good. All right, so now you've got your tree. It looks like it's floating. And then you can, like I said, you can do the cardstock, you know, die cut little things, but I was just going to use, these were from the online exclusives too. There's like little dragonflies and these little bird brass embellishments. So I am just going to use some of these on the window sheet. Do like one there. And there's like 2 different styled birds going different directions, which is kind of nice. Put one here. And one in the tree. You got an odd number. All right. And then on the back, I will probably just do this as a birthday card. But again, I would just stamp on it. And then once I got that done, then I'll just adhere that to the back of it. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use this for. But so there is the portrait one on that hexagonal floating card. So super fun, easy. So now let's go ahead and let's do the landscape version. And on the landscape one, I am going to change it up a little bit and I'll show you how I do a flat shaker in the back part of the card, which is, you know me, I love my shakers. Okay, so this one, we are doing this version. We're going to use some different colors, but I'm using that Everyday Skies Designer Series paper that is in the 2025, or no, online exclusive, sorry, the Everyday Arches, which dies, layering dies, which are also in the online exclusive. And then I threw in a couple different sets. One is the Celebration, the Pick a Season. That's where I got the clouds from. And then the other one is in the annual catalog. It's the Happiest Day, and that's where I got my little dragonfly. And then the sun is from that as well. I thought they're just cute little sets. So, and then we're going to change up the colors. So on this one with our portrait, I'm sorry, landscape, still you're going to be doing a card base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. And then on this one, we're going to score at 1 1/2 and 4, and then those will be the valley folds. That's what makes your back. And then that's for my shaker, so I don't lose it. And those are my floating. I got to put these over here so I don't lose them. Okay. Then for your cardstock, for the bands, again, you're going to need 2 of them. And these now are 1 by 6 5/8. Okay, so that's your, you're going to need 2 of those. And again, that's the same color as your band. And then for all of your layering pieces for the pattern papers, the designer series paper, again, that center panel, this part, that's going to be 2 1/4 by 4. And again, I'm using that Everyday Skies. Then for my back, I'm doing that cardstock. So I just did white for this one. And that's the same size, 2 1/4 by 4. Then for the inside panels, again, I do 2 to 4. Looks like I only cut 2 on this one. I may have to cut, because I don't have I like to do my back piece, so I'll have to real quick cut those. These are going to be 1 1/4 by 4. It looks like I said I only did the 2 for some reason. So I'll have to cut something really quick. And then for all of the band decorating, these little pieces, you're going to need 4 that measure 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/4. And again, I've got 4 of them here, and that's just that same Everyday Skies pattern paper. And then the other one, that's the middle one, that's the longer, that is going to be, again, 2 of them, is 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/8. And I will just real quick here, because I know I want my panel. I was just seeing if I had any more of that purple. Let's see, that was that bright pink one. Oh yeah. I just think this paper is so fun. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. All right, so I need to do 2 of these again at 1 1/4 by 4. Let me just cut these really quick so I have them. So when I look at my paper, I know I want more of my sky showing. So I'm gonna, height-wise, it's gonna be 4 inches. And then normally if I'm cutting all 3, I would start with the 1 1/4, cut that, then I would do the 2 1/4, and then I would do my last 1 1/4 is normally how I would do things, which I probably should do just to make sure that it's gonna align correctly, because I do want my sky to be continuous on this one. And then 1 1/4. And then this piece is left over. And this is what I tend to use for then the little pieces on the bands. All right. So now that's gonna go, I'm gonna replace this one. That's gonna be my center. All right, so let's do our scoring really quick, and then we'll attach our panels. I just have to move everything so I don't lose any of my pieces again. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Struggle is real today. All right. going to score. And again, this is the landscape version, so we want to score on the long side, so the 5.5 inch side. And we're going to score at 1.5. And 4 inches. Now you can also do 1.5 and then 1.5 when you rotate it. Either way works. And just like the other one, these become the valley folds. Okay, and this is Bubble Bath, the cardstock color that I'm using on this card one. Then our bands, these were 1 by 6 5/8, and we're going to score both of these at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 4 5/8, and 6. Oh wait, oh that's wrong. That should be. Oh, did I cut this wrong? Oh, I did. Oh, my strips are wrong. That's why. Because these were from my old way. Yeah, these are 6 1/8. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, these need to be 6 5/8 inch long. That was it was right here on here, but my pieces weren't cut correctly. Oh, Linda. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's see. Is this 6 5/8? Yes. All right, we'll try this again. My directions were right, but my actual cardstock was not cut correctly. All right. That isn't going to work either. I need it longer. Ay, ay, ay. Let's try this again. All right, so it needs to be 6 5/8 inch long. 6 5/8 by 1 inch, and we need 2 of these. So eating the demonstrator struggles at times, so not everybody is perfect. All right, let's flip this and score. Okay, now we're right. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 4 5/8, and 6 1/8. There we go. Yay. All right, same thing on the second strip. So 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 4 5/8, and 6 1/8. All right, they're both the same. Yay. Okay. Yay, yay. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to put my panels on, at least the outer two, because I'm going to do a shaker card on the center one. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is like the inside of your card that you're seeing, basically your front, you're seeing that inside. So I'm going to go ahead and attach both of these, the side panels first. All right, now, because I want to make this a shaker card, I have a piece of window sheet, or not window sheet, it's basically just plastic. You know, when you get your designer series paper or your embellishments, you know, whatever, it's just the leftover. I just cut it down. So basically you kind of want around like 1/2 inch, you know, 3/4 of an inch, really 1/2 inch is probably all you need. A little bit larger than what your pattern paper is. Okay, so mine is like about 3.5 by 5 1/4 inches in size. Then this is what I want to see is the sky. So I'm going to flip this over, and working from the back side, I'm basically going to then cut off at an angle each of my 4 corners, because we're making a little pouch basically for the shaker bits to fit inside. So you're just going to cut these at an angle, and you're kind of cutting fairly close to the corner of your pattern paper. All right. Oh, I found my missing window strip. Or window sheet. Ah, I knew I'd find it. All right, and then I'm going to put, make sure I'm not move this around here. And I'm going to put adhesive, and I'm going to bring up these tabs to make a pouch. So I just put adhesive on each of the 3 sides to make my little shaker pouch. Okay, so now you've got, basically you've made a little pouch, and then you can go ahead and add your shaker bits, and I am using from the butterfly, beautiful butterfly suite, and you can buy these individually. These are the Itty Bitty Boko mix sequins, so they're really pretty. So this is my first time using them, so we'll hopefully not make a mess here, because usually they're pretty full. All right, so let me very carefully open that up. All right, and we'll just kind of, so you can either, you know, use like a spoon. I've got this little tool here that is like a scoop that I like to use when I'm working with sequins. So I kind of start off, I do a little bit at a time, because you don't want to get too much. That's kind of pretty. And then I do think I'm going to add, before I close this up, because I can reach in here and do this, I'm going to put in these little brass embellishment. I'm just going to stick these on the back end of my pattern paper here. I'm just going to put one there. Well, I put it on the outside, but I want it on the inside. That's fine. It'll work. Either way works. There we go. Okay, and then let's put a little bit more in. And that should be pretty good. All right. Make sure those are closed. There we go. All right, and then once those are in, go ahead and close that up. So this is the quick and easy way of making a shaker card. And then I like to use tear and tape then to attach that then to my card base on it. Peel off that backing. All right. Cute. All right, and we're going to go ahead and put this in the center then. So again, when I cut that pattern paper, I got that continuous sky kind of going through. So fun, super cute. All right, now like we did before I put my DSP panels on the back side, I want to attach these bands first. So again, these were all going to be on our score lines. We were doing the mountain. mountain folds. That'll get attached there. And so on. All right, we can go ahead and add our DSP panels on, and I think on these I am going to, I think mainly do the star. I'm just going to do the stars. I'm kind of changing it. All right, so we'll have the stars front. And then for our smaller ones, I need a little bit of glue there. So on this one, I did do a different, oh no, that is the back of this side. Yeah, it is that Blackberry Bliss. So now these are my 4 little pieces. So again, because they're all kind of still, because it was the bottom part of that sky image. Kind of do something like that then. That's pretty dark though. Maybe I'll do it like that. Okay. And again, if you want to have these all be the same pattern going across, you certainly can do whatever your heart desires. All right, so that'll be at the top one, and this is the bottom one. And like I had mentioned before, you can make these wider if you don't want as much of a cardstock border showing. You can certainly do that. All right, so I always like to line it up, you know, we're working from the front, and then I flip it over, and then I just make sure I am flush along the edges here, and that my flaps, you know, can come in, and they're right, you know, kind of that my base is right in between that score line. And then I just put glue on the tab, and then give that a shut. And then glue on the tab on the other side. Bring that down. And then just making sure you're going the right way. I think I want to go this way. And then flip it over. And again, just lining up, making sure you're flush at the bottom. And you're centered in between those score lines, and then just put glue on your tabs and press down and glue on the other tab. All right, and now our DSP for the back side. I was going to do the purple again. So we will tear these down. Just making sure I'm right side up. We've all been there where we've put a card, we're almost all done, and then you put the inside greeting in upside down or something. And then again, for the center, I cut a piece that is 2 1/4 by 4, but I'll wait and stamp on that once I figure out what I want to do on that part of the card. Okay, so now there we have our landscape hexagon. So now we want to make sure we're going to do our floating pieces, and then I am using that everyday arch. So on my center part, I don't need a window sheet. I'm just going to attach this with some dimensionals. But then for my sides, I will do 2 window strips, and these are about a 1/2 inch by 4 inches long on that, because like on this one I kind of put those little dragonflies and some gems. I'll do that, but we're gonna stamp our arch image with that little dragonfly and the clouds. Let's see here. So this one is kind of more, it's a little bit more blue. So I might use a retired, it's Orchid Oasis, but I'm going to use that for my clouds, I think. So I'm going to put my dragonfly down first, just so I kind of know where he's going to be landing. Now I don't know if about you, but I've always been on a quest to get a really good black ink pad. So what I did is I actually took Stampin' Up. So we have an uninked white craft pad. So basically it's that still kind of that foam, not really a foam, kind of a foam base. And I inked it up. So it comes uninked. Then I took a black ink refill, like the Memento, and inked it up. And now I've got a nice black ink pad again. So that's the one thing you can do. You can just get an uninked pad and then just use your ink refill and ink it up. All right, so we're gonna do my dragonfly about there. I was going to do kind of more of like a moon. So my moon is going to be yellow here. And it was Daffodil Delight that I used. And then now for my clouds, I was thinking I could do or maybe I do the clouds kind of keeping how they did it here as with the pink. Maybe that's what I'll do. So let's do a combination. Let's see what the berry burst looks like. So kind of keeping with the kind of the theme of the paper here. So I'm just gonna ink up once. And then I'm going to lift it up, not re-ink, but I'm going to stamp again, just so you kind of get that lighter image. And I'm going to do that again. So I did it kind of triple stamping there. And then we'll do the same thing down here. I'm going to do a couple of them full strength. And then I'll just come in and just repeat stamping, but not re-inking. Kind of like that. And now your stamp is forever pink. That's the only bad thing about using some of these darker colors. Okay, and then I think to pull in that blue, I am going to use this retired Orchid Oasis for my dragonfly's wings. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll do... Oh, that gets a little busy. Okay. We'll just do the wings. Okay, so I'm going to do these. So there's 2 sets of wings, a smaller and a larger one. And there is a top and a bottom to these. You just have to, when you're looking at the stamp, make sure... Yeah, this is the way it lines up better. Excuse my head if it's in the camera here. Perfect. And then for the bottom one, I am going to maybe do that in Blackberry Bliss. Let's see what that looks like. Or maybe I should do the, you know what, I'm going to do the Melon Mambo. I think I want a little bit brighter pink because I always feel like Berry Bliss is just a lighter version of Blackberry Bliss is a lighter version of Berry Verse, or a darker version of it, I should say. I'm going to use my Melon Mambo, which is a color I don't use a lot. There we go. And that kind of pulls in our sky colors. And then our dragonfly needs a little wink of Stella. Just to give it a little bit of glimmer. Glitter without the mess. These are the best things ever. Just be careful, like when you're working with like a pink, it will pull up some of that pink. So if you go to another color, just make sure you kind of wipe it off just so that that color doesn't transfer onto your other piece. And I think I will then add, these are an online exclusive as well. These are the two-tone sparkle gems, but they're so pretty. They have like that little ombre, kind of like going from like a purplish pink to like an aqua color. Super pretty. Love them, love them. So those, looking at what I have here, because I did want to put a few dragonflies on for my window strips. So those are, oh, I just lost them again. Those. Oh, here they are. All right. Let's attach these before I lose them. So again, these were a 1/2 inch by 4. And same thing, we're going to put the glue dots on each of the ends. Not on my nail. And then I do face up, slide it underneath my band, and then I just make sure I'm centered, and then press down. So now that is attached, and then we'll do our other one before I lose it. Again, face up, slide it under, line it up, and then press down to attach it to the bands. All right, so now we've got our window strips. And then this archway or arch die is then just going to be popped up with dimensionals. And here we go. So I really only need to put these on the edges here. And let's see, then we can do just center that. Just give it a quick check to make sure my dimensionals aren't showing through before I press really hard. Okay, and then on our window strips, we can do a couple more little dragonflies flying around. And then we can add some of our gems. something like that. Oh, this is what I was going to use. That's what I was going to be using on the back, but oh well. I had previously, this is one of the other celebration items that you can select for free when you purchase, for every $60 that you spend US. It's this little starburst, or starstruck is what they call it, embossing folder. So it's kind of got like a little, looks like fireworks with a little star in it. Because I was going to do that on the back, but oh well. Next card. I'll use those. I forgot I had those die cut and ready to go. All right, so that is the landscape, whoops, the landscape version of your floating hexagon pop-up card, as well as our portrait style one. Again, kind of using some of the new products that are in the mini catalog for 2025, as well as some of our online exclusive. So if you have not yet done so, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate both Ezra and I, my little Greyhound, appreciate all the support that you have given us over the years. And I will be working on my next fun fold for my series. So if you have a particular fold, or if there is a technique that you want me to show you how to do, just drop me a comment and I will take the challenge. So otherwise, have a great and creative day, and I will stamp again with you soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.